And don't go anywhere because we've got Julian versus Minimoult up right after this. Just having a look at the stats. Yeah, there was a big raid here. And I think that was also kind of game ending. Yeah, very well played from Opti. Very well played from Mido. Thanks for letting us cast your games. It was a pleasure. I will.
And thanks for having me.
Yes, thanks for
I've
casting.
Hopefully you have fun with the rest of the cast of Julian and Minimoult.
Yeah, I think Plat will be coming on here in a second.
Yeah.
And so
we do have one more casted game. Platypus will be taking my spot for the cast. The game should be happening in a few minutes. So thanks for having me again, man. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll see you later. Thanks, Pixel.
All right, and see you later, guys. I will see you for next week's cast. Right, take care. Bye.
See ya. So yeah, don't go anywhere, guys. We've still got lots more games on the way. Let me just change the overlay. So I think they actually have hosted the game. Also, Plat, if you're here, you're muted, by the way.
Hey, what's going on? I had myself muted, so no one had to hear me mouth breathe.
Nice. You keen for the series?
Yeah, man. Like, this is gonna be a blast. Like, I mean, as they were saying in chat, first off, we have the best dressed, arguably best looking, players here about to, fight off kind of the Zoolander of matchups coming up here. Not, in a more serious context. Both these players very clever, very good with builds, innovators, willing to kind of try out new things. Mini recently made China, despite its 600th nerf since DE, the Terror of the Ladder once more. And, JulianK consistently, experimenting with builds, showing his strength in multiple modes. So really looking forward to this matchup because you have a lot of really kind of creative, very knowledgeable players. And then, like you said, they both have suits. So, it's going to be a good match because they're suited up here in these pictures.
Yeah, no, I'm very keen. I think these players they just have a lot of skill. They know the civs like kind of inside and out. Like obviously Julian coming from the Treaty 40 scene, so he's played a lot of the game. So yeah, he's really got that late game kind of micro down pat. I feel, especially with like the Colv micro and that side of thing. And Mini, obviously, he's got lots of very unique builds that lots of people have been kind of using on ladder and having a lot of success with. So yeah, can you see how this plays out?
Yeah. Just in general, like I said, really good and fun people. Like if you ever get a chance to watch any of their streams, like both these are pretty like upbeat, positive, always kind of good sense of humor, and it's just fun guys. So I'm just hoping for a good series here.
Yeah, and we've already got the civs. We're gonna have another China mirror. Mido and Opti started with a China mirror on Colorado, so it seems like. Let's see that again.
Yeah, I saw that. Good suit. China mirrors are fun because there's like 700 different types of units running around the map, and all of them can be really deadly. China's whole design is that if it gets the right counter unit onto the opponent, it's extremely cost effective. So you have two very civs that they're similar, but China's extremely flexible and they can really turn stuff around and make fights swing very wildly to or from, depending on especially your micro at this high level, right? Like as we saw in that Opti fight, like the redcoats were a bit out of place and Maito just like smashed. So
yeah,
should be good.
Yeah, and difference in like sending like one unit shipment of the other can definitely like turn the tide, as we saw as well. Like obviously the Manchu shipment just kind of carried, especially with the Transcendence as well. So do you think they're both going to go up with that wonder?
That would be kind of funny. Just to have a transcendence match, right? See whose explorer can tank the most. I would imagine so, especially for Mini. I mean, that is his build. Although again, he's a sly fox. He might you know, do something different.
Might surprise us.
You know, I doubt it'll happen, but it would always be really fun too to see a disciple rush. Those are always fun, although they are significantly decreased, I think, since the old days.
Yeah, I mean, they did get that recent buff. Now they they have a multiplier against mercs, right? But I guess that has a very niche use case.
Yeah, especially against China. I guess, you know, it could swing the difference if one person, you know, sends Manchu, which is what you would expect to see in a mirror match with this kind of very cavalry heavy civ.
Yeah.
Possibility for that. But I mean, really with the map Colorado, it's always been about kind of who takes the center, and then from there, who dictates the pace of the game. So
yeah, I mean, that's exactly what we saw last time. So yeah, will be very interesting to see. We're just waiting on the lobby right now. I'm not sure if they're actually in-game yet. Oh, actually they are in-game, so we will be popping in right now. Oh, I need a stream for you. Let me do this.
that'd be great. We can stay synchronized.
That would be nice. Here we go, Colorado, game 1 of the series. Minimoult versus JulianK, China Mirror. Over here on the left, we have Mini, and over here on the right, we have Julian. So, yeah, I guess we've already talked about the matchup. Curious to see kind of what builds they go for.
Exactly. You know, and again, on this map, I mean, that center choke point is just so key, right? Because it really dictates the opponent's ability to raid, to exert pressure. You know, they have to go all the way around if they want to do like a flank. So I'm curious to see if we see some Age 2 play or even like a Steppy semi-FF.
Yeah, I mean, they could definitely, I guess, do some damage in the early game. Yeah, but I think we will actually just see both of them FF like last time.
It looks like we have kind of a standard opening there from Julian, right? And same thing with Minimoult, opening 1 TP. That usually does suggest a FF or semi-FF for China. Of course, the 2 village kind of fallen out of favor because just the value of TPs are just so much stronger, and the maps, you know, like Colorado, it's just way better.
And also the T export card is so good now that you don't really need 2 villages.
Exactly.
Surely not opting to go for these easy in-base coin treasures. I'd rather go on out into the map to get some big beefy treasures. Already got the Nuke Clubman.
We're staying kind of assembling the Pokemon army here for China, which again, you know, in early skirmishes could make the difference.
Yeah, and we're getting the first cards in. Obviously, T export first for Julian, and Manny is the exact same T export.
Oh, I mean, that's how, you know, a good clean mirror matchup usually goes, right? Which will definitely be interesting because it's when you have the mirror and both people are opening the same, it's going to come down to a critical fight. Just the difference of one unit or a slight micro or pathing issue could, you know, snowball very quickly into a route for one player or the other. So I mean, these players both have got to be not necessarily nervous, but very anxious, especially as the game develops here, because just one slip up in a mirror match and it can snowball out of control.
I mean, I'm sure Minnie's probably copping a bit of the nerves, because I'm sure he'll go up with his build and he kind of got to show us how to make it work, right? He can't be losing using his own build, right?
Yeah, exactly. Although, you know, Minnie, very, very calm, like he says on his Twitch channel. You know, he's got both hands on the keyboard, right? So, but yeah, both opening French consulate, both sending crates.
Yep, the food comes in. Food comes in, yep.
Awesome. What about decks? Maybe we can take a peek at that and see if there's any variants.
True, that'd be a good idea. So Julian's deck, very H3, H4 orientated. He does have the Northern Refugees card, but seems like he's not sending that at the moment. Mini similar, except a few more shipments in age 2. What do you think?
You know, it looks like he's a little bit more flexible in his deck. Like he might be able to do a kind of a semi FF, right? He's able to fight any age 2 aggression a bit better. I think interesting to note too in Julian's deck is that he has the goats late, so he has a little bit more boom potential.
They
The
both
goat
have
shipments.
the Merc shipments in age 3, the Iron Troops and the Manchu. And
I mean,
you go?
I was just gonna say, clearly, I think Julian has a little bit more of a late game. Like you said earlier, he's a treaty player. He's more comfortable the later the game goes. So he's definitely able to leverage that difference. But in age 3 and 2, you know, Minimoult's got a little bit more flexibility.
Let's have a look at the wonders. So yeah, we've got the Transcendence and we've got the Transcendence wonders.
Yep.
Nice. Something that I did think was funny is Mini's deck's called India. So yeah, that's it.
Again, I mean, you know, again, look at the name of his explorer before he goes down, and that lets you know about
I date my
humor.
double cousin.
You know.
Yes. The H2's coming in. The explorer's back up. Back into action.
Exactly.
Raid's on the way. So yeah, does seem like a typical FF for Julian. Mini's going for the diplomatic intrigue, so I wonder what cons he's gonna pair with.
That's a good question. I have seen him often use the British one to get extra red coats out early, and that can really help. You know, if your opponent has a bit more momentum, especially in the China case, you know, China is not necessarily the Muscus can be a weakness of China. Of course, I put in parentheses because China is an incredibly flexible and deadly civ, but you know, having those red coats can really anchor a battle line against Cavs. So if you know Julian goes up first, he might lose a lot of that momentum if his cavalry can't really connect or get damage done.
Oh, but he's actually gone with the Germans. I have seen this. Do you think we're going to see some dops on the field, or is he going to go for the trickle cards?
You know, knowing Mini, he's probably going to go for a little bit extra eco.
I know Callan loves to get those dops into action. I wonder if Mini will go for that, but yeah, maybe he'll just go with the trickles. Always a safe bet.
Mm-hmm. Well, you could pop the dops though too, and maybe rip down a trading post. Julian, yeah, very curious to see what he's going to do with that.
Julian's still with French cons. And he's just about to click up. Porcelain Tower. And yeah, so Mini's just getting those trickles, but he's still a little bit a ways from aging.
Still, that economy might help, you know. But then we'll have to see what his age 3 wonder is, right? Because now he's got the doubles, and it looks like he's going up with the tower as well. All right, so it looks like Julian's got a little bit more tempo going into this, and Mini's got a little bit more economy. So we'll see. You know, I would guess that Mini is kind of expecting his micro and his ability to hold to be able to pay off.
Ooh, but we do see Julian taking middle of the map with that forward village. Definitely being on the more aggressive side of things. I guess he knows that maybe he's going to be up a little bit earlier. I mean, he's up in score as well, so... I wonder if he scouted the German consulate or not.
Okay,
Oh, he has no
definitely,
idea. I get 100 XP though.
Well, if he didn't know before, he's got to know now.
Oh, it's on 3. Just one more hit. Guess he won't get it. And
Being double cousin survives another day.
He did pop Miniman though, so Miniman for some disciples. Pretty good, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. Plus, you know, you can heal him back up again with Transcendence right before a fight, so...
Exactly. That's why. Cavs on the way for Julian. And he's just clicked up, he's getting his market text. Wonder if... Does Julian have a market? Yes, but he hasn't got anything yet. A lot of people on coin. Maybe see some... Yes, Manchu's on the way.
Oh, let's see if he's... Oh, wow. Quick.
Very quick. Yep, and we got the meaty hammers from Mini as well. He kind of has to keep this village alive here, because this is his next hunt.
Exactly, right? And, you know, I mean, he does have some, looks like, villagers up to the north, but... yeah, this map can be very tricky with the map control. Looks like Julian's also expanding that way. You know, both players just kind of content to take their time and build up that mass. You know, again, China kind of known for its death ball style gameplay. I would imagine after the Manchu hit, I mean, this is all cav. This actually might be really deadly. If they pop from that village, oh.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh no. Does Mini suspect something? Yeah, he's backing off. And now he sees it. But still, there's Manchu who are just going to run in here, probably get a few picks off on the cav. No, just deciding to go for the Explorer.
Yeah. Yep, the Explorer does go down, and just like that, I mean, JulianK with the combination of Manchu and cav, he's got quite the deadly combination against anything that Mini might try to bring. And I would say Julian's looking really good right now. I mean, he's going to, yep, idle China. Well, idle. Mini.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And Mini just has to kind of run away. Like, he has to run away. He can't do anything else. He needs these cav alive. So Julian can just sit in base, really, and he doesn't really have any follow-up, because Julian's just going to be able to pick off any reinforcements that come out of the racks.
Exactly. You know, again, Chinese units, they definitely need a mass in order to be effective. And when you're able to pick them off as they trickle in, that's just... Yeah, this is looking pretty rough right now for Minimoult. What is... He's got a shipment baked up. I wonder what he'll send.
Oh, it seems like he's going to want to send maybe iron troops to counter the Manchu. Because he's got lots of coin, but he's completely idled. Surely he just goes and raids with these. Like, you don't want to just, like, sit them up here. Skirms on the way.
He's either going to ship Manchu of his own and try to, you know, take a good fight, or... I don't know. This is a tough spot, right? Because like I said, Mini, he's kind of on the back foot. He's about to lose a village, right? So that's going to be wood and population space they won't be able to keep up with.
And probably this hunt as well. Like, he can't really herd this anymore. They'll have to be quite cautious about it.
China also looks like Julian shipped the 10 arcs, so now he's got a pretty sizable mass. And yeah, China's about to hit its death. I keep saying China, but Julian's about to hit that death ball status where he's got 3 to 4 different unit types. And, you know, Minimoult doesn't quite have the mass out. Looks like he is shipping Manchu of his own, though.
Like, there's skirms on the field now. It's not going to do anywhere near as much. Mini doesn't even have, like, skirms either.
Doesn't have that. He doesn't have pop space now. This is looking rough.
This is looking quite rough. Got brick cons on the way. Are musks the answer?
You know, I'm not quite sure, but to be honest with you, there's not a lot of great options at this point.
Yeah, like, I don't know what Mini does here.
I think you just hope to take a really clean fight. You know what I mean? Catch your opponent a little bit off guard, clean it up, and then put pressure back onto him. I mean, that's all you really can hope for.
I think we just need some skirms. I think to try... If you can pick off these Manchu, you could actually take a really good fight, because he's a lot of cav here, and he's got all his Manchu alive. He's got even more cav here, so I think he just needs some skirms, and he actually might take a really good fight here. Is he sending anything? He's sending intervention, so he'll get those masks on the way.
Ooh, is he going to be able to catch, you know, these Chengdao? kind of.
Is this a good fight though?
Sometimes just catching small bat. Qingdao notoriously bad anti-cav. I shouldn't say notoriously bad, but definitely let's say subpar, underwhelming. Wow, I mean, if you think about it, he just cut off some reinforcements, and this is probably about as good a fight as you could hope for.
Yeah, intervention's on the way, but there's more reinforcing cav from both players. It's just more Manchu for Mini here, so... Wow, this is... Wow. This is turned around, I think.
You know what I mean? Like, he's still gonna have to rebuild a little bit of infrastructure, but again, that was about the best fight you could hope for. And just like that, I mean, it swings right back.
Yeah, scores are nearly even. I mean, he's still got a few idols, but he just needs to run away with these Manchu, not let any of them die.
And those Manchu... I mean, again, China Cavalry is just so tanky that even with the Manchu, you know what I mean, they're able to live a long time. The Redcoats do catch.
The dot pop right onto the Manchu. That's great. And yeah, just like that. I think Mini's back in the game, but you look at his macro and he's got all his fills on food.
So he was definitely kind of starving earlier. Like you said, not having access to that hunt there near his base definitely kind of stressed him out, right? Because his army is just split all over the place. Or not his army, but his eco is, right? Which is going to make it a lot harder to defend against raids. Looks like a second TC out for Julian, so I think Julian's going to be able to start booming pretty fast here.
Yeah, I think Julian kind of recognizes that he's in the lead. He took like a pretty good fight. And obviously he was idling a lot before, so maybe he feels confident enough to kind of just, yeah, secure that lead. Skirms on the way for Mini.
Yeah, I think, even though he's been idle for so long, Mini's probably going to have to take a fight here at some point, because against the two TCs and being down in bills, even with the German consulate trickles, I don't see him being able to keep up long term with Julian's eco.
So he's actually down 10 vills, which is quite considerable in a mirror. He's getting his Explorer back, I think. Does it cost 300 coin to get your Explorer back?
Yeah, for the Asian civs, it does. It is more expensive.
Wow, that's very pricey. Wait, he has his Explorer. This is Julian, sorry. I'm silly.
Okay, I was about to say.
Ignore me.
And just like that, I mean, Mini scores looking pretty healthy. Yeah, it's time to push. If you're Minimoult, you gotta make some damage, like now.
Yeah, there's still a few Manchu on the field. I mean, 3, but it'll definitely do a difference if they can just sit and shoot. And
But,
I think I'm liking Mini's composition more. Like, he's got the skirms, though. Julian doesn't have any skirms.
Not really, yeah, you're right. And if he's able to micro, again, and get those skirms on top of those redcoats, that's going to be a really good trade for Mini. But there is a castle now, there is a town center.
There's a lot of cav here for Julian. Miniman pop. Does any player have Transcendence? I don't think they...
No, it looks like Julian's used his Transcendence already, and I don't know if Mini has one yet, but double-faced armor coming in for Julian. So those cav are going to be very tanky, and I think Julian's going to win this fight, even though it's close. Although I'm probably about to eat my words, aren't I?
It's looking... I think Julian's coming out on top. There's some Qingdao coming in, but that's not going to do a lot. There's like Musk here. I guess they could clean up a few cav. This is quite an even fight, to be fair.
It is, but again, if you're Julian, all you have to do is break even at this point, right? Like, you've got the better eco, you've got the better map control, Yeah, Minimoult has to run back, and even though he took a pretty good fight, all things considered, good micro, good, had the right units on, except for maybe the Qingdao a bit delayed.
Yep, Transcendence just popped for Julian, I think. Mini has his now. More reinforcing cav on the way.
And he's shipping double-faced armor, but it's like, Julian already got value out of the double-faced armor because his cav, instantly got, what, if I remember right, 10%, 15% HP plus more armor in general.
We're gonna see a Transcendence. Yes, there it is. And he's gonna clean this army here. Then again, Julian's still like I think 15 bills in the lead.
Exactly. You know, I mean, again, it's all he has to do if you're Julian is just keep taking fights that are at least, you know, equal trade. And you do have to be careful because, again, if Minimoult's able to get the death ball truly rolling, then, you know, the economy of China is often not so much its villagers, although it clearly has a decent economy, but it's how cost effective the army is, which can allow him to just snowball. Oh, we've got one Chengdao poking away up there in the north.
Is there a Cheng down there? Oh yeah, there is.
Slowly picking away. You know, that's one tough villager just to be sitting there mining while being like cleaved sword.
They should just
anyone's
melee that Cheng Dao. Oh, and he's actually moving his entire... Ooh, this is a nice pick. I mean, the castle's right here, but if he could even get a few vills, that would make a big difference.
Wow, you know, and he gets just looks like 2 or 3, but does take a lot of the HP down.
Ooh.
Will he be able to catch this cab as well? And wow, I mean, man, Mini's just fighting like an absolute beast, even from, you know, kind of a behind position.
Yeah, I think he's definitely come back here. I mean, scores have always been kind of in Julian's favor, but Mini just keeps taking like good fights. Reinforcing cav here from Julian. Is it enough? The Explorer's just behind.
Again, kind of caught out here, but I think, again, Minimoult will probably clean up this fight. But again, when you're so deep in enemy territory, and when you fight against China, and you know how big these shipments are, you're always nervous because you never know when just like a game-ending pop's gonna come from a village. And
Mini's got to back off from this. Yep.
but those are normal pikemen, and they're not exactly the heaviest of infantry, let's say.
He's taking the fight as well, and they just cleaned up.
Yeah, Cheng pikemen, especially non-veteran or disciplined or whatever the veteran thing for China's called off the top of my head, they are not very good. Probably one of the weaknesses of China's that they have.
I mean, Julian's kind of macro a bit all over the place. He's got 15 idle, and he was floating a lot on food a second ago. Just a lot of cav play right now. They're both making only cav.
Do you think, wait, does Mini see these northern hunt going down? Because he's sending a Chengdao and he's got his cav on the way.
Oh, that's a great pickup. This will get him back into the game for sure. There's no kind of garrison point nearby, and Julian doesn't have any units on the field, so these villas will all go down, I think.
I think so, and this is huge, right? I mean, this just literally put Mini back into the game. Julian had a commanding villager lead, but right, it's 43 for Mini, and how much is Julian on?
Julian's on 56, so he's still in the lead. Yep, there goes all those vills. I think he might have picked off a few more there, but lost a few cav. Maybe even a counter raid if Julian keeps walking.
Oh no.
Yep, watch out, Mini.
He's got the village close enough though, so he should be able to save some.
He might just lose 3. But then again, he's like idling all these vills here. He had to... I guess the coin one just ran out, but...
Yeah, it looks like Mini is now sending iron troops.
Ooh!
Ooh. Good block there.
Yeah, this pathing, the vills just have to kind of walk around the cav to get to the TC. Oh, this will be a...
Ooh.
It's just raids right now for the past like maybe 5 minutes.
You know, anyone that knows anything about Chinese history, civilians you typically suffer greatly in all of their interstate conflict, and we're kind of watching that play out here, where it's like both parties have stopped fighting, you know, the armies, and are just causing just total war and chaos onto the opponent's economy. And wow, I mean, Minimoult, despite being behind, despite being just as rated, continues to make this game competitive and close, and just, you know,
yeah,
absolutely impressive.
Interesting to see that discipline Keshiks are being researched by Julian, so we might actually see some goons on the field here.
That's a bad feeling. Like Keshiks.
Oh, iron troops pop! I mean, they're not going to do much damage here. If they can kind of kill some of the musk, that might be great.
True, but I mean, they're ranged sponges, right? Because they have like so much range resist, and on top of it, their DPS is pretty insane. So this might actually swing the fight, although I don't know. It looks like the front line here for Minimoult is starting to collapse.
Yeah, they both use Transcendence at the same time.
Jinx, right?
Yep. Reinforcing Cav here. Just gotta has to pick off these masks here. They're gonna just kill that Cav. Yep.
Body blocking. I don't know. This is with all those villagers kind of stuck out now and having to idle. Even though they're body blocking, they're doing okay. Like this is looking rough.
I'm afraid these Iron Troops are gonna go down for Mini. This could be game ending. I mean, he must have been raided. I mean, all these villas actually. He's on 36 villas to Julian's 62.
Yeah.
And he's starting to transition, so I think Julian's in the lead here.
I think so. And again, Minimoult's been fighting like just an absolute beast this entire game, but I don't know if he can sustain this for much longer. I mean, we finally hit the spot where the economy, Julian's almost 2 times as good. Mini doesn't really have an army, and again, all Julian has to do is keep kind of tying these fights. You know, he's idling the economy right now, effectively, with Mini, because these villagers are fighting.
Yeah. 9 ships on the way for Julian, so he still has that unit shipment on the way.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly, you know, even though it's a mirror, it's swung back and forth. Now he's sending 8 Chukanu.
8 Chukanu. 23-minute 8 Chukanu.
Right, maybe go for some flavor and do the duck squad, since, you know, there's one of the teams in this tournament. But I really do believe that at this point, Mini's going to need just to crush a fight or get really lucky with the raise. I don't see that's going to happen too with the rice paddies now back at home. You know, is he going to catch these Iron Troops? Nope.
Not sure if he saw it. But yeah, Mini's going to have to start transitioning. Like, this is his last hunt. Maybe he can get this one as well.
Yeah. You know, another option could be if Mini's able to get to age 4 and get some unit techs. You know, he can just use the fact that China has, you know, unit shipments the size of Germany's without the XP penalty, and just basically grind out his opponent, you know, and keep his mass small, and basically mean his economy investment doesn't pay off. But I just don't know if he'll be able to get the mass and the timing and the macro to go up and hit all that at once.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I think he's trying to age. He just sent 1,000 coin, but maybe he's using it to make units. Just probably a good play. Monastery coming down, maybe some more mercs on the way. He does have access to giant grens, which is a nice merc. Dropping a TP.
Pretty good. Although I don't know, you know, if anyone would know how to handle those things. And wow, here he starts producing them, but it would be our treaty boy, Julian. If anyone can handle these giant grens, it would be somebody from that treaty mode.
Yeah. What's Julian up to? I think he's just focusing on transitioning. Wow, he's pretty much fully transitioned.
I mean, again, at this point, it's Julian's game to lose, right? So he's probably going to be a lot more cautious, kind of take his time, try not to take risks, right? You know, when you're in the commanding position, it can sometimes seem a little passive. And certain civs, you do have to be careful about this in, but ultimately, why be too aggressive? Why make bad choices or risky moves? Just take your time. You're in the lead.
Exactly. And he's not being too aggressive. He's kind of just sieging this village, which will probably pop Mini a little bit. Oh no, Mini has lots of space. Yeah.
Looks like Mini's going to come in, probably just give him the runaround a bit, you know, siege the town center a bit, run away. Siege the town center a little bit, run away. Nope. Uh-oh.
Nah, might get caught out here. This is going to be a surround for Julian. Giant Gren's mixed in here, keep in mind. A few reinforcing batches.
Wow, this is... I don't know. This is looking pretty good here for Mini. God, those giant grens. Yeah, quite giant indeed.
Very giant. They're great units. I mean, there are Iron Troops here. There's a few left. There's still 7 left. I think Mini's taking this fight.
Sending 7 steps. So yeah, we're officially running out of big China buttons. Wow, I mean, I'm a little bit quiet because I'm a little bit stunned, to be completely honest. And again, Mini should be Minimoult, because I mean, just the brain on this guy, just the constant tech switches. That even though he's quite behind here, of Julian. He just continues to make really crisp choices,
Yeah,
showing kind of his ability to play the Civ.
I mean, he keeps like taking really good fights despite being at an eco disadvantage, probably military disadvantage, and it just shows you like his skill with this Civ.
Exactly. Kind of backing off now. Maybe he'll try to, like I said, siege down that town center, at least get something.
I mean, this is 30 vills that have just been idled.
Wow, there's no skirms either. So those giant Grens, they don't really have a counter out on the field. Except for, I guess, monks.
They do amazing against Cav, I'm pretty sure, in melee.
Okay, it's been reduced a bit.
Yeah. The Vill
Oh,
pool.
but now the Vills are coming.
But Mini still takes this fight.
Wow. I'm starting
Scores
to
are
get used
even. Man.
Minimoult. 2 hands on the keyboard, indeed. Clearly going on here. Just playing like, again, Julian's not playing bad. Like, it's not like Julian's making like bad calls or dumb fights. He's just slightly getting outthought. You know what I mean? Like tactically, it seems like Mini's a step ahead. Even though Julian definitely has the better eco still.
How does Julian actually respond to this? He's only got people on coin. I mean, food. I guess he can switch these to coin at any moment, but does he even have the racks? He's got 2 racks. It's here.
He does. He needs territorial banner out, but then of course the problem with territorial banners with all the cav out is that again China is not very good. Qingdao especially are not super great against cavalry, and which there's a lot in the field.
This is huge. Taking that wonder down just gives Mini a big advantage. Even more raids.
Again, standard Chinese conflict, right? 200,000 dead on the field, 20 million civilians down. I joke, of course, but in all seriousness, you know, again, like I said earlier on, China is kind of weak to must-cuss, and Mini, despite the odds, has figured out a way to be a must-cuss China, and I'm just speechless, other than like rambling, because this is just so clinical and it's just so precise that Mini pulled this out. But it's not over yet, and we've seen so many swings, so I'm not going to get too cocky, because oh yeah.
Here come the walls. Treaty mode activated.
Exactly. Julian's like, hey, that clock don't say 40 yet, bud. All right. But yeah, he's definitely on the run. In the south, there looks like some pretty big raids are trying to get pulled off there by Julian.
I think he was just picking off those cav that were raiding here. Yeah, but wow, look at all this idle time for Julian. Even more vills dying. What's the vill count? Mini's actually tied nearly. Julian's only ahead by two vills, and he only has 1 TC, so it goes even.
You know,
I guess, and Mini's transitioning as well. Like, this is still a very even game.
Man, this is killer. I hope, I know ESOC's got like a YouTube channel, you guys should definitely, not just because I'm in it, and I can show my mom, see her, and be like, I'm not a complete loser. I casted a niche micro RTS. So, joking aside, this has been a crazy game so far. I mean, just absolutely, the depth of understanding of China going back and forth here by Minimoult and JulianK as well. Impressive.
Do you think an Age 4 will make the difference? Like, is that what will break this kind of like deadlock of these 2 players?
Maybe. I really don't know. It's almost like a base trade at this point. Like, who can cripple the other guy's eco first? Because Mini does not have too much back there, but all he needs is a couple batches of giant Grens back there, and you know he'll stabilize. Ooh, that's going to be a rough. Those vills are caught out.
Ooh, yeah, but he's got the giant Grens here. I think he'll be fine.
Perhaps.
Oh no, he doesn't. I think he should take this fight.
And he does okay. You know what I mean? Again, he's trying to save vills, I think, at this point.
But he's actually up in score. He's used Transcendence. Surely he just takes this fight.
Wow. This might be the game decider right here, because Julian now is going to have just so much less of a military mass. I don't think he'll be able to contest the repush here in a second. And that'll just idle him out of this game.
Oh my gosh, man. Oh my gosh, and that's the game! What a game!
Whoa. Dude. All right, first off, before we go in and praise, like I said, Minimoult over here, let's just say, Julian, you played a really solid game. I don't, it's not that Julian played wrong. It's just that Mini just went like next level, basically. That's my kind of initial thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was. I think Julian played very well. I couldn't really fault him at all. He had the eco lead for like the entire game. But man, Minimoult, yeah, Megamoult.
Yeah. There's nothing Mini about him, and I get to see him like again, I don't like know any of these players personally or anything like that, but I watch a lot of their streams and him just having a very calm, like little response of like, yeah, I played okay, and then moving on to the next match. That was incredible. I mean, just this back and forth. I mean, Julian had so many good pops too. He was able to punish. He got up faster. He had tempo for most of the game, but I think Julian just kind of he wasn't prepared for that off meta strategy. You know what I mean? And that's always the weakness of being like a really strong meta player. Sometimes you get just the tiniest of blinders. And I mean, yeah, look at the villager graphs.
I mean, look at this. 26 minutes, and he's on 38, and Julian's on 75. Double the vills. These fights. Some great fights for Mini. Some also really bad fights for Mini. So yeah, it goes both ways. Both amazing players.
And I see in chat Maito, the I don't know, the Chinese, one of the Chinese experts, noticing that, Julian did go to mills earlier, and Mini was able to get a little bit more value out of the mines and stuff across the map. So that also, I mean, we're talking like the tiniest. We're talking in a game of inches right here. Wow, idle bills, just wow. I wish I could, I wish I myself had the ability to like better translate that amazing game that we just saw on the screen into words. I think it just ultimately speaks for itself. That was awesome. If every game is like this, I'm going to be out of my voice by the end of it, and
I
my
know.
small brain's going to be overloaded. I don't know. Now I'm worried as a caster. I'm like, God, I don't know if I can keep up with these stallions.
Wow, that was insane. But I think the next game's on the way. It seems like there was a crash, so I think they're about to rehost, and we'll be with you shortly on that one.
Haley DM saying, did I miss Iron Troops? Yeah, they both shipped Iron Troops, and arguably Minimoult's Iron Troops did not get much value. They got caught pretty fast there.
I don't even remember. So much happened.
Yeah, 65 meteors for 65 meters there by Hola Amigos. Yeah, that. How often do you see that? Wow. Just incredible. So, after that game too, I think what's nice too about, even though you lose that way, it's got to be frustrating. I'm sure Julian is not like tilted that bad, because after a game like that, like you just have to like kind of chuckle to yourself, shrug, and be like, all right, I played good. I had good fights. I did all the right things. I just got, some tiny mistakes in hindsight that got me. So what I expect to see is just as a confident JulianK going into game 2.
Just checking that they enabled spectator mode, because,
Yeah, it seems to be a pattern, just to kind of rib our elites a little bit.
Here we go.
Okay, good. But perfect. It does seem to be a consistent issue that a person that can remember 20,000 unit combinations that Age of Empires complexity demands at the high level, but can't remember to click the observer button. But not these two. Not these two masters. They know the drill. They got the micro, even at the Civ selection and lobby screen.
Okay, and we are into game number 2. We have Mini v Julian on Grand Chaco. Mini playing Hauser. Interesting pick down here on the south, and Julian playing Inca up here in the north. I mean, we were talking about Dutch v India, but this is exactly kind of what we were saying. Maybe a few more unique civs on this map. What do you think about this matchup?
Well, for starters, these are not bot players, as we've seen already, and just in general, right? They're willing to shake it up a bit. Both these civs are pretty flexible. Inca, I think, is one of those civs that is so often underutilized. It's so good on this map. Fun fact, the llamas can dance on their plaza that they can get from
Yeah.
the map.
I mean, if you think about it, it's a great pick for both civs because you can see here, Hazard's already got some llamas on the marketplace, so
It's got 3.
both civs really want the llamas.
Well, and you get the faster explorer, so he's going to pick up a lot. And I think that will give, of course, Hausa quite the advantage. You know, now Hausa does have to take a lot of map control. It does not have a trade route, so its influence might be a bit limited. But that fast explorer is just effectively countering Inca's ability to do anything it wants on this map.
Wow, these players know this map like in and out. They've gone directly for all the llamas, and it seems like Mini's actually picked up every single one, which is going to be really tough for Julian to deal with. He'll just be able to sell for so much more value.
Right? No, I guess we didn't expect Mini to also be in his spare time a tour guide on Gran Chaco, given his familiarity with this map. I mean, he just boom hoovered them all up, knew exactly what he was doing. Wow. That's scary. I mean, African civs have so much potential with their livestock and on livestock maps, and you just totally took away Inca's ability to get any sort of bonus early on.
Okay, so we got decks in. What do you think about this? I've been playing some Inca recently, and so I think this looks pretty normal. We've got the 2 war huts, so we'll probably see a bit of a forward base. But yeah.
Or Concha Boom. Looks like he's got all the war hut upgrades, right? Again, 1v1, Inca's war hut units very strong. Their Kalanka units not so much, but this looks pretty standard. He should be able to get a lot of value.
And I mean, this looks pretty standard Hauser as well. Nothing too crazy. Got the center horseman in age 3. A few villain Griot cards.
The Ire Berber. Yeah, the Ire Berber card might not be the best on this map because, you know, you don't have the trade routes and you only have, what, 3 native TPs? So.
100 XP. Very nice.
Blowgun. Ooh, he does get the snare off, though. And that Inca Explorer is an absolute beast.
The funny thing about the House Explorer, I'm pretty sure if you snare him, he actually can't break snare unless he snares you back.
Yeah, he's not quite fast enough. That was a really nice change. As we know on release, Hausa was strong. Let's say.
It still is, I would say.
Yeah.
My personal opinion. I lost to many a Hausa player today.
Oh yeah, it's a pretty solid civ. A lot of micro, a lot of bookkeeping that you have to do. But same thing with Inca. You know what I mean? And this will be good. Hopefully we see some display here on that we can, you know, save and point people that'll come in and, you know, they play Inca once, they can't must cannon everything, and they're like, oh, this civ is garbage. It's actually a really strong civ if you know how to use it. Same with Hausa.
Yeah,
Although Hausa can must cannon, it's just with extra steps.
So we got the age up 7 here, the Songhai. Do you know anything about this age up?
Songhai allows them to spam raiders from their TC for, I believe, influence cost. There's also some techs that they're like like if X happens, you get Y amount of res back.
Okay. And the Elder from Inca, I can't remember off the top of my head which one this is.
Is the Elder the is the one that gives you wood chopping? I know. Procasting, everybody. If anyone in chat that plays these civs just wants to give us like a little bit of a boost here, the chief in age 2, is that the wood chopping one or is that the 2 buildings one?
Inca's just getting all the treasures. 120 coin. Very
That's
nice.
massive.
Going for an early community plaza. I'm sure Julian will want that 1 wood a second from the llama.
And the chief aged up. What came out for Inca?
No maybe
Travois.
is it the wood chopping? I think it's the wood chopping.
Okay, so that's the one where they get like I think age 3 wood techs in age 2. Very good for a concept.
Age 2 wood text, I think it is. It's the first and second one.
Yes.
Yep.
whatever the first second one. But this looks like kind of a
Yeah.
classic concha boom, right? Like this is the build where you put out the 2 war huts, and then by about 6 minutes, you should have enough conchas to be able to just double racks
Yeah.
archers here.
And I mean, Julian scouted that houses just staying in base, so he's a bit of time just to boom. I mean, he's even sending the 2 war huts, so he doesn't actually need a chop for any war huts here. And he can kind of just place these in a defensive position, very nice on either side of his base.
And that'll be important because again, Hausa has step riders, but because they were
Step riders?
because they're
No.
DE, you don't have any of the downsides of a banner production, and that's what the Songhai allows. So you get H2 Goon, you get a Mongol banner, but like a little bit easier to macro.
Oh. Wait,
If
you
so
said
choose.
step riders. Are they actually like... Do you mean raiders or...
Yeah, the Raider.
Yeah,
One
the
pop
Raiders.
step riders, essentially.
Oh yeah, that's what you were saying. Okay, gotcha. The big fort.
See? Okay.
Starting goons. So yeah, maybe he suspected some Chimu out of Inca, but Inca doesn't have any unit production right now. He's just happy to boom. And scouting with his Chesky. Yep.
And again, that's what Inca wants to do, right? It's a very passive defense kind of civ. If Inca doesn't have to build any units, it will just sit in base and boom all the way to max concha, and it's a very solid boom if they get away with it.
Which I feel like they kind of are, like nearly 7 minutes into the game and nothing's really happened yet. House has a lot of units on the field, but like this is such a big map, I feel, and there's no forward base.
Look at that, 200 pop, Chincha Brewing coming in.
Wow.
This is looking solid for Inca, but you know what? They're still quite the mass. And again, the Songhai text can allow a pretty deadly raider pop to happen.
So how's he used all their llamas? They haven't yet. Has he actually... I think he's been trading a bit.
Yeah, judging by how low that wood is, he's definitely been. Probably to get Filani and houses and related ecotechs.
Gonna try pick off a few vills here, but he's gonna struggle. I guess there's not really actually any anti-cav here, but he doesn't really want to push into this, just the par thing will be horrendous.
Yeah, Inca definitely loves to, kind of turtle and let people get themselves into bad fights. And, the poison from the bowman does help their DPS significantly against these kind of light, raider, step rider, sower kind of types of units that have low HP.
Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure it's one of actually the best light infantry units against cav, right?
Yeah, not necessarily the best, because especially with the recent changes, they do less damage. Just 0.6 against heavy cavalry, but the poison is nice. It helps. But again, Inca, I think the strength of Inca is like their pikes, and then of course just Chimu everywhere, making your life miserable.
Does he have the H2 pike card? No, he doesn't. That card, I think, is a very good card, because it makes the rate of fire on these guys go to 1.2.
Yes. And again, they're pretty tanky when you look at the stats for a pike. I mean, they're definitely like a good pike unit. There's no denying it, and they can brawl sometimes even with musketeers.
Yeah. Lots of cav for Hauser here, and it seems like Ink is stepping up the Chimu production.
Ooh, but okay.
So yeah, both players busting out 3 unit comps.
Right.
Very good to see.
That's been an old debate for a while, right? 3 unit comps beat 2 unit comps, and those Filani are, especially if you can micro them, they're probably going to beat the jungle bowman, right? Because they can just kind of flick run away. But now that I think about it, both units are kind of fast archer, a DE style archer, right? A lot of speed, a lot easier to micro than like a crossbow, but not necessarily the best for Filani or jungle bowman in a protracted. I don't know with the Filani. I guess they do a little bit lower DPS, but then more against heavy infantry, so they will be able to deal with that frontline pike a bit better.
And the DPS for Falani actually a lot higher. I guess not counting the poison, but with 1.5 rate of fire, it's actually quite good.
It is, and they have a bit more range too. And ooh, Shimu now.
Both players playing very passively. Like no one wants to like push in or like get a good catch out and continue pushing. They're kind of just sitting back, happy to boom. I mean, the Inca macro here is, I think he just wants to make Chimus.
Yeah, he can either make Chimu or, you know, probably spear bow, especially against that unit comp. Because again, those raiders, they have pretty high siege. I think their siege is like the equivalent of a musk.
Because he sent 700 coin and he just hasn't used it, I don't think. Like, I think he wants to make Chimu with it, but maybe he wants to H? Trade some food? What's Hauser doing? Hauser's happy staying H2. Where are the rest of the units? I guess it's Cav so he can run away, but... Yeah, not wanting to really take a fight.
Rumpus Raiders.
The Fiddy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you can train them in H2.
Exactly, right? Hausa super strong with its cavalry, especially if they have some pretty good cards. So those Lafidi are just absolute monsters. Oh, age 3 now, looks like with the exiled prince equivalents.
Yep.
For Inca, the scout, wise woman, whatever they call. Again, do apologize if there's any Inca mains in the chat. Oop, we got a raid. I'll be quiet.
Need a few vills. Goons are on the way.
Look at all those goons.
And Julian is up, getting the Jungle Bowman text straight away. And he's sending Cav HP. Might catch these Chimu out, but maybe he wants to just push an H2. If Julian can get all these units up to kind of vet status, I think he would just take a great fight.
You know, I agree, and the thing is too, with Mini kind of really investing in H2, he might lose a lot of tempo here. And oh, there goes the Chimu. Yeah, this is a great time to push.
I think it's his window. Right now. Cav HP's come in. Has Julian upped his pikes? Because he needs to do that. Oh, he has.
Yep. And those, again, those raiders, just the amount of siege. You know, again, Lakota, green with envy. Seeing Cav unit now have such high siege.
Again, not wanting to overcommit. Maybe he'll age after this? No? Maybe he's waiting for some Lafidi if he's making him. Oh, there's a few mixed in here. Yeah.
You know, to be honest with you, I'm not sure exactly what Mini is hoping for. I mean, he's kind of popped all the buttons, so to speak, right? There's a solid Pike Expo mass, and the truth is Inca's economy, especially if he ships the 2 town centers here shortly, will just boom right past him.
Yeah, and I mean, Julian's sending a combat card, which affects the Spearman. Not the Jungle Bowman, though.
Correct. But he's just going to get the armor tech in as well. So these Inca units are very strong.
Yeah, I think he's getting more... Oh, what does this big button do? It gives you more resistance.
Correct.
To something. I don't remember what one.
I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure here what Mini's plan is, but he's got to be really careful. If he loses his map or mass, it's definitely GG. I know that sounds kind of obvious, but just being an age behind and against another eco booming civ, he will snipe the war hut. Should probably remember to repair that now.
Just picking off a few cav. Walls up for Julian. Oh, he actually has trapped these units. These units have nowhere to go. Unless they somehow siege this wall. Ooh, and Mini doesn't even know. I want to see Mini's perspective. He's gonna find this wall soon enough, and he's gonna be like, oh shit.
Oh no!
Maybe he'll just have to siege it. He'll just have to siege it.
They do have high siege. Again, if you had to be trapped, He trapped with like,
Ooh.
ooh, but he gets the Vills here. But again, they're not doing much damage. So, and the economy, again, for Inca, so much in their houses. So
But that's like, at least half the cav gone. Probably 3/4.
wow. Just realized his explorers also I date my double cousin. Sorry for the tangent, folks. For Hausa too. Is there a theme? Is there something going on, Mini?
So, what are the villas at suddenly? 32 for Hauser. I mean, 40 for Inca, and he has the Conchas, so I think Inca's somehow still ahead.
I would agree. And again, eventually Inca can send the 2 TCs, you know, even do a fertility boom and just hit 99. And we'll be able to sustain that boom pretty easily thanks to all the conchas and just having the better mass.
He's actually kind of running out of hunts a bit. I mean, he has this one, but he's not hunting on the map at all.
But he's creeping forward there with the walls and everything. Wall mode engaged.
Julian just needs to push right now. He'll win any fight, I feel. Is Mini trying to age, or... I don't think so.
It's a pretty big goon map, but you know, those Jav Riders are no joke.
Not, but like, there's so many jungle here, and these have the support card on them as well.
Correct. Yeah. They're just very strong right now. There's no other way to say it. Feels like he does get some raiders out, but then the Chimu are raiding him right back.
He's trapped again. He's Cabba trapped again.
Let me out. It's like the opposite of that meme with
Yeah.
at the end. It's like, let me out. Oh, he does. He sneaks out.
Ooh, Julian. Walls. I thought he was pro Waller.
Even the treatiest of treaty boys sometimes leaves a hole.
It's like the Kaiser Revnak game yesterday, where I think Kaiser's units were like stuck. And it's the same situation, and then there was just a big hole, and they just all ran through. It was like, oh, lol.
Yeah, right. Like Lamau. That could have been bad. Is fighting against this map control, and I mean, again, Mini does have a very strong army, and I think at this point, he's just stuck in Age 2, and again, Julian, very cautious player. He does have the fort up, or the, sorry, not the fort, the palace. Have damage, melee coming in, but I don't know here. They might just do a base trade, and I think Inca wins the base trade.
I mean, Mini can't really base trade right now. Is he...
Or he's
Still
trying
very
to fortify.
passive.
Yeah.
I mean, Hauser doesn't even want to age. He's still has no indication of aging. He's only on 25 vills.
That's a problem. And those llamas that I mean, he played perfectly earlier, but
He still has... These are all fastened.
murder and vills, but I just don't know. And again, what's Inca? Ooh, Inca's now got the damage buff coming on. How many does he have dancing?
Just one.
I'm sorry, no longer dancing. This is DE. They're now lollygag. How much villagers? Just the one? Just the llama lollygagging?
It's not a... Yeah, I think it's just the llama. Ooh, this is nice. Wow. Lots of 12s.
Yeah.
And yeah, here's the 2 TCs.
I think at this point, you know, again, I don't want to... Mini totally showed that you cannot count this man out. But that being said, this is looking really rough for Hausa.
I mean, there's so many goons here. There's nothing really to kill these jungle bowmen because there's just so many pikes as well. Nice drag box. And we just right click here.
Yep, I think it's that point. You know, I just don't see any way for Mini to get back into this. There's no huge shipments left. There's no power pops. You know, his raiders are just getting shot down. The javelins are doing the best that they can. I mean, super strong unit, but they're fighting an age down. Those bowmen have all the cards. The economy of Inca is just humming along here. Yep, GG.
GG. That was a very interesting game. Very passive game. With lots of raiding and yeah, kind of like small little skirmishes. But yeah, I think Inca just being an age up, just won it.
I think so. I mean, Mini had the advantage earlier with the llamas. I just don't know if he was able to leverage it enough. And it's always hard with African civs, the whole market economy, right? Like when to just dump, right? To use some memes, some crypto memes, when to pump it and when to dump it, right?
Yeah,
Like it's super complicated, and I think Mini, he had a strong comp early on. He was pushing around, but Inca got to do exactly what Inca loves to do when it contra booms. It got to sit in its base, it got to get all of its houses out, get all the ecotechs, and then just pump these very cheap but cost-effective units, the war hut units in particular. And after he had the age advantage, he now had it would be like fighting Russia with an age advantage, right? Like their units and economy are just going to be a bit stronger.
yeah. And I think we are on to game 3. I think they've hosted it, just waiting for them to start, maybe.
Mm-hmm. He also had a bunch of influence, but the map, there was no giant grens or anything to really like flip the script, right? Like he was able to do before. And again, the influence boom for Hausa on a map without a trade line, it is a bit tricky. So I think Minimoult played a pretty clean game there, but I think JulianK just stuck to his Civ strengths, played it very standard, and then the Waller, the Waller
Yeah,
within.
the walls were great.
That was he trapped him so many times. That was really clever, and again showing the strength that most people, including myself especially, should probably stick to civs like Lakota, because I don't wall, and if you wall, you get so much value in situations like that, right? You're the slower civ, you can never keep up with cavalry since you're a Native American civ, and so he took away that advantage by walling. Really smart, really clever play there by Julian.
We have the civs for the next game. Julian's going to be playing Otto. Mini going to be playing Inca. So yeah, I wonder if Mini saw how strong Julian's Inca was. Like, I want some of that.
How dare you? Inca me. I Inca you, right?
You think you can out Inca me? No, no, no.
In all seriousness, I think on this map, so it's wait, which map is it now? It's going to be, sure I have the right map.
Um,
Nile Valley's map is
Nile
number
Valley.
3.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So Auto, pretty good on this map because Auto gets up pretty fast. We've seen a lot of games with Ottoman on this map, but Inca can really mess with Ottoman, especially if they get a huge swarm of Chimu out. Ottoman does not like to be raided. The war huts can be out pretty fast for Inca and kind of lock down map control.
Yeah, because you can build them in age 1.
Mm-hmm. And again, everyone hates Chimu raids, but Ottoman with their slower Vil production, it only takes one good raid, and we've seen that a few times throughout these series in this um, week, right, of maps, especially on this map, that if you can just cut the legs out from Ottoman with a good raid, it's GG. Whereas Inca, you can go ahead and ship Spahis and every other thing. Inca has those houses, and they are able to recover from bad fights a bit better.
Hmm. Be interested to see if players go for the natives on this map, because I think a lot of other series people have gone for the natives and it's paid off really quite well. So
Yeah, again, the smart aleck in me. Turns out melee goon, right? Pretty good.
pretty good. And I think the tech as well. I think both Opti and Mito used it last series. Where it gives you the 2 wagons and you can kind of build your military buildings with that, or you could build a TP. That's another nice tech as well. And of course the Verbavilles, very nice to get.
Yeah, CDB that can fight Cav with the tech, also pretty good. But they are, and it's one of those things that when you really think about it, I think it's a good thing that there's now just a few natives that can really have to be contended for, because it does kind of force players a little bit out of their comfort zone, right? I feel like this is a good overall addition. I mean, obviously, like the melee goon kind of is a consistent issue throughout the DE era of goons with good melee attack being problematic, but unlike like a hack pellet or something, right? Like it's on the map, you can scout it, you can prepare for it, and it doesn't have a ranged attack. So at least, you know, like a musketeer unit should be fine. GG's vape is on the line. Yeah, that is true. That is the ultimate price point. And we'll talk about cash, but we all know it's Big G's. His vape, you know. Because when you take it too, you get to send him screenshots of you using it or not using it, right? The emotional damage, worth it all.
Okay, and I have found the next game.
Sweet.
And here we are on Nile Valley. We have JulianK over here on the right playing Ottomans. And over here on the left we have Minimoult playing Inca. Yeah, I mean, what do you think about this matchup? I think, are we going to see an H2 Rosham Otto, or are we going to see an FF, or are we going to see another Contra Boom out of Mini, similar to what Julian did last game? Both going up with the TP. Yeah, what do you think, Plat?
You know, I feel like, obviously, I have not seen that many Inca games with the highest level, but traditionally, on ladder matches from us mortals and down, you know, Ottoman's able to kind of must cannon really strong. Inca does not like that type of play, although they do have the tools to remove it if you have the micro for it. I also see Inca having a better age 2. You know, Ottoman probably doesn't want to brawl too long in age 2. I would expect that Inca's going to try to take map control in age 2 and figure out a way to idle Ottoman. It looks like Ottoman's going with 2 TPs.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if he'll have Silk Ronin in his deck. Maybe try for the Stagecoach.
You know, if that's the case, he is going to have to contend then with Inca's age 2, which I do think is the superior. Ottoman, to the shock, I'm sure, of everybody watching, has received, you know, a few buffs here and there recently. So I think as the game goes on, the Ottoman just strength of units, strength of shipments, strength of free eco, strength of everything could play out deadly against Inca.
So I have decks here. Capitalism first. I don't see this too often. What do you think this will mean?
You know, getting in some of the minds of these high-level players is always a bit tricky, but with the double trade post, I would imagine this is some sort of semi, perhaps using the capitalism to make Delhi first.
I mean, maybe he's got a lot of H2 crates. This has to be an H2 play, surely. Does have a lot of unit shipments in H3 as well. He's got the Berber allies, which is interesting to note.
Really good card. Really good value. Again, we were talking about the melee goons on this map. You could actually stack that Berber card. In fact, out of curiosity, does that Berber card, does that make him vet? No. Okay.
I don't think so. Yeah, what is Mini's deck like? So Native American allies, and yeah, native treaties. So I think he'll be going for the TPs as well. Some H2 native play. He's got the native card as well. Getting an 85 coin treasure. Good stuff, and Julian's picking up 100 food. Also,
Yeah,
I think
this
Otto
is-
10-10'd actually.
It did.
Yep.
Yeah, this is interesting. Definitely, you know, I know as a caster, you're often supposed to be like in a position of like authority of like, I know what's about to happen. You know, again, chat, if anyone has some secret insights, let us know. But this is kind of interesting. I definitely think Ottoman and Inca both have age 2 agendas. We saw Natch, so clearly a native agenda from Inca. But from Ottoman, maybe like a Delhi Jan composition or just Jan Abus. You know, get Abus. You can't spell abuse without Abus. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see kind of what the play is. Is Inca gonna try forward base? Gonna like surely they have to contest this trade line. Is he gonna go for the natives? We haven't seen any play yet for them, although he is building this one with the Chasky.
yes, 2 TP capitalism. FI says vividly plain. Okay. Yeah, FI would be pretty deadly into Inca again. Heavy cannons are a problem for Inca. Great bombards even more of a problem.
So he actually didn't send 3 vills. He decided to skip it, send 5 vills in H2, and he's got another shipment already. In base racks. And he's sending this. Where is this coming from?
Caravan trade. That's the stagecoach.
Oh, that's the stagecoach. Yeah, I thought it was like a native TP tech. I was like,
there is
what am
one
I
I
saying?
think for the salt.
The salt mine. Yeah, it looks very similar.
And then real fast, big call out to Swaggeroni. I hope I pronounced that right. Subscribing. Thank you so much. Thanks for casting all these games. Well, thanks for subscribing. You know, again, this helps get us prize pools to get these guys out of their little Twitch caves to come play some games and entertain us. So really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. We really appreciate it.
At Casters, the Berber came with the salt. Okay, so what you're telling me is that he sent the salt mine.
No, that's stagecoach. You can see it right here. So, yeah, I'm sure we'll see Mini contesting this. He's sending the vills now. Sending the TC Big One, which is the Pikes, I believe, and also the Country Brewing afterwards. We got the 2 forward war huts right next to each other. Just such a demanding, dominating position on the map. Jan's out for Julian.
Yeah, this is kind of tough too because the Jans have higher hand attacks, and so normally the Spearmen can tangle with Musketeer types. Jans are, they're just built better.
That's true, and they have more HP. But we are seeing an age up here from Otto, so it does seem like an FF. Curious to see why he has so many crates in H2 then.
You know, just to have the option, right? It's like the meme, like the implications, right? Just to keep your opponent honest. Sometimes it's good just to have, implications of like, I could if I wanted to.
Yeah, like I guess Mini doesn't even know. Oh, he's gonna get the snare. That's nice. Explorer will go down. What's Mini up to? So he's sending coin. Maybe he will look to age up as well, but he's got a lot on wood. I think he's still just country booming. Building the community plaza now.
I'm a little bit worried here. I think for Mini, I feel like Ottoman is just gonna have so much momentum heading into age 3, and there hasn't been that much damage really done. I mean, he's got the stagecoach eco. He's gonna have.
I completely agree with you. I think it's hard for Inca to pull off a complete country boom into like a FF timing civ, and if they're still H2, even like early H3, it'll just be so tough for them to contend with.
Yeah, I think so. But again, Mini, he's practiced his map. He's thought his thoughts.
Thought his thoughts. Got Chimo on the way, making Chimo as well. So
nice little Chimo pop probably coming out here.
Only 4.
And but the Chimo will trade okay into Jans. Not fantastic.
That's a lot of Jans.
Oh, man, good reflex there from Julian. The 2-man Chimo raid.
He's still gonna go for it. He might get a Vill actually. He will get a Vill. Yep.
Mini malt, but maximum value.
Just being annoying, really. Jans have to come all the way back. Maybe you can actually siege this TP. Yeah, that'll allow them to siege down that TP, which will actually be great value, I reckon.
Yeah, and again, just making these villagers low HP later on in the game, that might pay off, right? Just being able to snag 1 or 2 real fast.
Falc's on the way for Otto. What's Inca's response here? Is it to mass in H2 or is he gonna try and go H3? I know he did ship coin. But I think he's making it for Chimus.
I mean, vet Jans will deal with Chimus.
They will. More raids. We get another Vil.
thanks, bro.
Julian's not paying attention to Vils. These are easy. Oh! No way! Free Phelps?
Minimoult, Julian, no!
That's all his momentum.
Oh,
Like, Mini can just make Jungle Bowman now.
yeah, like, man, you hate to see it, but I mean, he's playing Ottoman, so you're kind of like the villain.
Wow.
But, oh, that's rough. Poor Julian. I mean,
Yeah.
all of his momentum is gone, and Minimoult has got to be sighing a breath of, like, relief, just saying, oof.
He can actually probably stay at H2 and boom a bit more now. Keep raiding, which I think he's going to do. Make Jungle Bowman, he should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Getting more native TPs?
Yeah, this is rough. So I don't even know what you do with Julian. You know, maybe
Does Julian push here? Does he need to push, or does he try and drop like 2 more TCs and just defend?
I think he needs to split some of his Jans up for starters, right? Because your whole army is getting the runaround right here, and the longer that goes, the worse it's gonna get. I know microing against those slippery boys can be a pain in the butt, and again, they'll slip right past you, but like 10 Jans, you know, in kind of 2 spots should be enough.
Seems like
yeah, I
Mini's
guess.
committing to H2.
Oh yeah, it doesn't. You know, unless Julian drops down a Foundry, why not?
So I think Julian's just gonna push here. He thinks, right, I gotta push.
You got to do something. You spent all of this time building these Janissaries. Just have to do something.
More raids in base. Must be so frustrating.
Ladies and
Inca.
gentlemen, welcome
Everyone's
back.
favorite civ, right? Right, chat. If you queue up against someone and you see Inca, you're just like, oh, thank God, a healthy game of maneuvering and, you know, warfare out in the field. I kid. Actually, I think Inca are overall in a pretty healthy spot right now, and I give credit to the devs for taking some interesting ideas and spinning it into something that's, I think, a lot more in line and enjoyable.
Lots of pikes here for Mini. Do you think he needs all these pikes? Is he anticipating like Spahi, which is actually on the way?
Yeah, you know, again, clearly Minimoult has hacked Julian's mind, right? A little bit of cheating there, and he's just been on top of him with every play. And I would imagine you're going to ship Spahi, but those Inca pikes, man,
There's a lot of them.
although they are kind of small area because they're infantry, so if the Spahi get a decent surround, I mean, they will do work.
And here it comes. I think Mini's just retreating. Just kiting, which is nice. Might see a drag box. Here it is.
Yeah.
Native treaties just came in.
Jahez.
So he's got the Dervish and he's got the Berber camels.
These Spahi so badly want to get onto the Jungle
there they
Bowman, and
go.
here we go. Just not finding a connection point. More units reinforcing from Mini. More pikes. Doing a great job of kiting.
And at the last second, drag box.
Yep.
Good micro from both players, though. Again, really showing off why they are top players. And oh no, spears are on him. Here we go.
Yeah, spears onto the Spahi. Jan's kind of just sitting there trying to deal with all these pikemen. Jungle Bowman just doing work, and I think Mini takes this one quite easily. There's still actually 4 Spahi on the field, but a lot of them are low HP.
Yeah, I mean, I think Julian's taken as good as a fight as he can, but he just did not have the numbers. And yep,
Yeah, that's the game. So, yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for that Falc catch, then I think it would have been a lot closer. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's much to that one.
Yeah, I think again it just happens sometimes. Especially FF plays, FI plays. You have to have very specific timings. Mini was there at the right time, scalped those Falcons right out, totally stole the momentum, and then bought time with even taking the long way back home for native treaties to kick in, reinforcing batches of spears to come in, and just like that, GG is called, and Mini is now up 2-1 in this so far extremely competitive series of, again, games of inches so far.
I think they have got the next game up, so I will get into that shortly.
All right. I'll be back in just one quick second. So, excuse me.
Okay, I think the players have actually just taken a little bit of a break, so we haven't got the game just yet. Yeah, Seven Wolf, they've been too classy. They just need to maybe take the blazer off. It's getting a bit too hot in there.
All right, Chief, I am back. Looks like we got a countdown.
Yes, I think they're just trying to sort out the lobby right now. Haven't found the game yet, but I will actually be right back, so I'm gonna get some water.
Perfect. Go for it.
All right, I'm back.
Perfect. All right, so let's see here. The fourth map will be Dakota. Ooh, this is a fun map. Lots of good games on this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
Yeah, hopefully here. I mean, poor Julian, he's got to be a bit tilted after that last one. So I don't know what civ he's going to pick, but I would imagine he's going to be looking for like a comfort civ at this point, right? Something that he really is, feels comfortable with, because you don't want to do a tricky civ when you already feel like you're making timings that are being scouted by your opponent or anticipated.
Julian's saying that apparently there's a bit of lag when he's trying to like micro his vills. But he doesn't think it's net, so we'll...
I too suffer that problem, but my problem is that I have lag.
User error.
Yeah, I can't blame. I can blame a lot of things on DE. I cannot blame lack of reaction time to DE. So, or I could try. Maybe I'll try. But in all seriousness, there could be a tiny bit of lag, and for most people, it's maybe not that apparent. But when you've got two high-level players and you're fighting against civs like Inca, just every second, millisecond, literally, can be the difference between losing economy in games and being able to defend. Dakota too. What civs have we seen on Dakota? We've seen a lot of Germany on Dakota.
We saw Germany ports in the last series on Dakota.
True. I know we saw like a different game where I'm pretty sure it was like Germany versus Spain, I want to say, on Dakota. It's so good that the trade line is just so much value to Germany in that map. There's enough distance, and the hunts are kind of far out too. So if you're a German player, you've got all the recipes to have a just blast, basically. Really, any civ that likes to semi-FF can do pretty good on Dakota. Some good native civs too, like Haudenosaunee, Aztecs, can both get a lot of value on that map. Ah, cool. I won't spoil it. I'll let you introduce it.
Let me just sort out this overlay. Okay, here we go. Game 4 of the series. We have JulianK playing Haudenosaunee down here in the south on Dakota. And up in the north we have Minimoult playing USA. I am very interested in this matchup because I've played it countless of times and I'm not quite sure, probably from the How perspective as I don't have USA, but how does Howd play into USA? Do they FF or FI into light cannons, or do they do the long H2 with Aina and try and just survive the 3 Gatling shipment? What do you think?
I mean, I feel like the games that I've played recently with Haudenosaunee, that I just bash United States right in the head. Like, don't let them come off with all their cute builds and they're like, ooh, look at me, I can make mills and settler wagons. Like, you just just hammer them right away. You know, Haudenosaunee, out of all the native civs, I feel like is like a sledgehammer civ, right? It hits hard, it has incredible timings, and you just pressure. And the United States, for all of its flexibility, it doesn't like to get caught out, right? Like, if it's trying to do an FF and you can punish their age 2, they're in trouble. If they go age 2, but then Haud takes the trade line, USA is going to be into trouble. That being said, this is Minimoult we're talking about. This is United States, which has so many options, and I think it's going to come down to ultimately, can Minimoult use all the advantages, like the age 2 goons, the shark tooth bowman shipments, the age 3 shipments, and FFs, including the blockhouses, to leverage the advantage. So I think it's going to come down to what USA does, and then if Haud can scout and react appropriately.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, do you think How just rushes anyway? Like just the usual like TC big button, full Kanya, just into USA's base, or do you reckon they try and maybe have a look at what politician USA went up open up with and like kind of dictate what they're trying to do off that.
You know, it looks like Chinese immigrants is coming in now for United States. Because I just saw a TP wagon. Yep.
Yep, you're right. I've actually seen this kind of like deck a lot from USA players. It's the 3 age 1 cards. Usually like Chinese immigrants, the Dutch immigrants, and Irish immigrants.
Yeah, it's quite the deadly boom the United States can pull off of. I think HOD in this case has a couple options. It can, you know, stagecoach its side of the trade line and do like a semi-FF, you know, using its Kanya to just kind of run around and cause chaos. Maybe, you know, 11 Tomahawk for Kanya. Its age 3 units are kind of superior to the United States, but it's tricky because USA also gets like Forest Prowlers with free 22 range, like early, or 21, I think, base, +1 for techs, or upgrades. Long story short, there's a lot of options United States can pull here, and so I don't think it's a clear path for HOD going into this.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what Julian does. Let's have a look at the deck. Oh, H2 coming in, the Chief, which I think is the crates. It's not the fast stage up.
Isn't the Chief 2-vil, 1 healer?
Is it the 2-vil? Okay, you could be right. Let's have a look at the deck. H2 play, got the crates, got the unit shipments. Lots of unit shipments in H3 as well. Got the 5 Cuirassiers, which is a really nice card. Yeah. If we'll see a forward Warhot. I mean, USA's already taken pretty much the entire TP line.
I do know too, he's got old ways in instead of new ways, so he will, if there's a Highlander build, that can be a bit of a problem. I don't think we'll see it, but he won't have.
I mean, he does have the
CIR.
Highlander card. So, potentially.
I know I've been casting a lot of games, so I just perked up because now I'm interested, and I'll try to keep casting and not just watching. But like, I don't know what Mini's got up his sleeve, but
I mean, Pennsylvania. Which one does this? What does this mean?
Off the top of my head, you got the Pennsylvania Pound, I think, is the tech, and it's more economy focused. Let's see here, Lionheart. I saw you were in the chat. You wanna?
We've got the Dutch immigrants on the way as well. So yeah, 3 H1 cards. Pretty easy with 3 TPs in H1 though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sheesh, very good. We need to use auto on this map with sharp shitty, pretty good. And still, I mean, HOD does have those really fast Aena, so the new Aena should not be underestimated.
Seems like the Warhot's on the way forward.
Mm-hmm.
And is USA going to scout this? He will. Or not?
Well, he doesn't see the foundation yet, so.
Now he will.
Yeah, it looks like he's going 5-vil first, so it looks like Haudenosaunee now wants to stay at H2 for a long time. He's set up for a long H2. Yep,
So the meeting house. Does that mean we're going to see some Highlanders out here? Because that's a card you send for the Highlander card, right?
I often, yes. Again, this is Mini. Known for short streams, quote unquote, and meta changes. So I think this is like a Highlander stream, or a Highlander push, but I'm not sure. It really could go one way or the other.
Does Howard bother sieging the TP lines here if USA just gets them for free?
I don't know if they have a choice. I would imagine the only time you'd want to siege it is if you can then turn around and maybe take it from them. Churches for coin trickle. So wow, he's got lots of coin. I guess he could go sharpshooters. Still though, only 5 regulars out, and those Aena, if they can get close, man, with their what 50% attack boost, which is crazy. Oh, Minutemen called. But the closer you are, like the better. Yeah,
I mean, look at these guys. They're the native version of Gatling guns, aren't they?
Basically, like I was saying before, Anna equal Oh, that wagon comes out. Is he going to be able to get it? Nope, but it builds so fast.
It builds so fast. 5 seconds. 5,000 HP.
Like, I'm pretty sure our actual state capitals take like decades to build, but in Age of Empires 3, that stuff is like instantaneous.
And so, yeah. Julian just idling USA here. I don't think he can stay under here too long. He doesn't want to lose these cav units here.
No.
7 AN on the way. What's popping out? So Musk is on the way for USA. And he's making spies, actually. Is that to deal with the Explorer? I'm sure it is.
Yes. Taking a page, perhaps, from from Karim, right?
Yep, from Karim.
Say what you want, but the meta setter. But it really is the right play, I think, here, because the Haudenosaunee War Chief with that crack shot and the aura boost is USA is going to have a hard time, being able to bail out of it.
He just picked off like an entire shipment just there.
Yeah.
Very nice for Howard. And the score's reflecting in that as well. Gonna pick off these musks in the back here. How does USA respond to this? Ooh, sending the Highlander card. How many is he gonna get? Only 4
though. I mean, that is the equivalent of 12 musk, but it's like you're shipping musk into Gatnas.
Oh,
yeah,
he's just called it. Wow, very fast game.
Dang. Okay, so before anyone says anything, right? Like, I think that the United States build was just a pinch, to use the best word, right? A pinch greed.
I think he needed to FF and get Gats. Like, honestly, I think what you do is you make a wall right here, and as Howard's like sieging your racks, you pop your Gats right here, and you just kind of kill everything. Get the mask on the Kanya, and you're fine, right?
Yeah, and that's like, I mean, this is one of the oldest rushes in the game, basically, and he did it a little bit differently, where he traded more staying power, especially to be able to spam Anna. I mean, they are very good costed, but 100 food can be hard to macro for so early in that game. The classic way to beat it against Haudenosaunee is just smash him with an FF. Gatling guns are so cost effective. That being said, too, something I've noticed with the Aena changes is that if your Civ can't get Cav out, those Aena just dominate any other infantry, I think.
Yeah, for sure. You just need to let them shoot, really.
Yeah. Just, let them cook, man, and they will get some value. So, just a commanding thing there from Julian. I think, again, Minimoult, really good strategy, very practiced. Just maybe he expected Hod to FF, because normally Hod would be a little bit scared to push United States so heavily. But I think Julian, once he realized the Chinese immigrants were out, he's like, I cannot. He's got bunch of trickles. He's got a bank. He's got all the trade posts. Hod doesn't have the best siege either, so trying to take down the trade posts is just an exercise in futility. Good call there from Julian. And guys, we're at 2-2. Like, it's been a long series here. That was the closest thing we've had to like a one-sided matchup.
Yeah, you're right.
This, man, what a series. Both of these guys, like whoever wins this one, I think both players should be pretty content with their performance today. If there's any admins in the chat, can we get some predictions for a game 5? Like, who takes it?
Yeah, surely. Minnie's saying in the chat, because there's been like so many like bugs and crashes, the score is actually like 8-8.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good one. Good way to close out the series. Just incredible. And Saguenay too, I think, is one of the best maps in the entire game. There's so much variety that this map can bring out. You've got the water play, you've got the trade lines, you've got the 2 different variations of trade lines, right? Down the center or kind of like a crescent. You've got sheep. You've got
native TPs as well.
Oh yeah, Cree, right? And Huron, both. Huron's a little bit more situational, of course, but the Cree, probably one of the best OG natives that there is.
Attack!
Just, whew. this is cool. And what a way to end. You know, good job to the tournament organizers to come up with like a pretty good map.
Ladies and
I think that
gentlemen,
map
welcome
has
back.
been
Welcome back.
Fairly competitive. No real civ wins that we've seen so far.
Sorry, I literally haven't been able to hear you from all the
Exploring the
immense
back,
spamming.
wow.
spamming. I do have a question for you though. What is your favorite type of Saguenay?
This I like a lot.
Is it the summer version or the winter version?
I mean, summer just looks so good. You know, again, sometimes, especially us here, we can be a little bit too sweaty and try hardy and only care about like competition, but like just the map and the colors and the lighting and on the water and everything else. If you've got some decent graphics, like the fall summer setting for Saguenay is just gorgeous.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you. This summer setting is really nice.
What civs do you think you'll see on
I'm
it?
running out of spaghetti. I need more
Again,
more
Brits are
spaghetti.
classic.
Fuck me.
Autos are classic on that
Maybe
map.
I'm gonna go out to buy more.
Yeah, what are we gonna see? Does Mini play Otto?
Spain, Portugal.
Ports might be a good one.
Mm.
Saw someone say Ethiopia in the chat.
Ooh.
Ethiopia versus Otto. I know Julian plays a bit of Ethiopia, I think.
Does.
Could be.
I mean, really, Hod, even though we just saw Hod, I mean, Hod's a good one on that map. Most civs, I feel like, have some good options on that map. It's definitely a map that promotes a lot of civ diversity.
Okay, the game should be coming up pretty soon. Okay, here we are.
All right, yeah, let's go, guys. Man, what is here? And we've got 220 people coming in on your Saturday, just like me, ignoring all the responsibilities. In my case, there's finally summer in the pale northern reaches of the world, and I'm inside watching these two guys go at it. So let's finish strong.
Okay, and here we are. Game 5 of the series. We have JulianK over here on the left on Saguenay playing Ethiopia. And over here on the right we have Minimoult playing Dutch. And as we were saying before, this is a great map. Seems it spawned in its winter version with the TP line going across the map. Yeah, I'm interested to see kind of like what strategies these players will pull out. We know Ethiopia is very strong in the meta right now. The Shuttle Warrior, what a good unit. I'm sure we'll see a bit of that in action. And yeah, how much of a boom are we gonna see from Dutch? Are we gonna see any water play? I'm very curious. What do you think, Plat?
Well, you know, I kind of want to say Ethiopia has a bit of an advantage here. You know, I jokingly, somewhat, right? You can't spell Ethiopia without OP. Those showtells are going to be. I think H2 is definitely Ethiopia's game to lose. I think Ethiopia is going to have to find a way, though, to put pressure, cause Dutch to either slow the bankroll and not get to H3. Once Dutch is able to get to H3, you know, Ethiopia's shipments are good in H3, but they're not necessarily powerful enough to overcome like the Dutch comp.
Yeah, I mean,
as for
Reuters would do
water-
so well, wouldn't they, against Shuttle?
They will, and they're big enough too that the showtells can't quite swarm them in the same way that they can swarm infantry.
Yeah.
I feel like Dutch can get some pretty powerful like shipments too, like the Bosniaks and especially like Bosniaks. Or just, you know, if they can get through age 2 with enough banks, I feel like they'll have a pretty strong eco advantage. Even though again, African civs have a really Ethiopia's eco is deceiving. You don't always see it because Aubins aren't counted as vills, but it's very strong.
We have some treasure congestion here. Opting not to go for it. Let's check decks. It seems Ethiopia is going with the 2 vills and the Aben. Pretty standard first card. I think everything else is looking pretty standard. Got some water play. Got the big spastable mortar as well.
Yeah, big boom cannons. So pretty standard though. Ethiopia deck. Chill water. Nice.
Mini's so chill in every way. Even his decks are chill.
Exactly. That's why it's a winter map. Because Minimoult's on it, right? So it's too chill to be summer.
Got the frigate in H3. Got the Bosniaks as well. Sure, we'll like to see that.
Yep, 15 Ville age up from Dutch. Quartermaster, you know it's coming in.
JulianK getting the 75 wood. Very nice. And yeah, so the quartermaster for Mini. Julian's not up yet. Somalis. Interesting. Very good
warriors.
Age up, aren't those units are so good. I'm sure we'll see some on the field.
Old Carolian pretty good, turns out. They do have less, you know, scalability than the Carolian, of course, but they counter all cav at range and melee.
Yep.
And then they also have the Darude, which are like really long-range muskets, kind of.
At counter artillery.
Yes, and boats.
And boats. There you go. Picking up a scout. Always nice. Julian going for a TP in transition.
Yeah. How much sheep did Ethiopia get, if any?
I don't see any. Does sheep spawn in the winter version though? I don't think it does.
Well, interesting. You know, I just thought about it too. Someone that hunts, like they should be all over the place here, but I guess they're more in the mountains in the winter, but in meadows. Interesting. Enough sheep biology facts. Okay, let's get back into this. Looks like 700 wood being sent. Very standard Dutch play so far.
Yep, got his first bank up. Very nice. Julian's about to hit H2. The shipment stacked. Sending coin. And yeah, his macro is pretty much all in food, so maybe we'll see an FF here. I mean, he's got the shipments in H3, so...
Well, and the natives do tech up.
14 Somali is such a good card, isn't it?
It is. Well, and not to mention all the natives shadow tech, right? So they instantly get veteran the second you hit H3, so... African civs, kind of a twist on the classic design that aging up has opportunity cost, where they tend to not scale. Ethiopia's kind of an exception. But they tend not to scale as hard, but they get a power spike when they age up through the shadow teching.
4 vills on the way for Ethiopia. And a forward war camp. So it seems like we're going to be seeing some H2 action. I'm sure that 700 coin was for units. And
yep, here come the Shotels and Abens. That's right, Abens cost a lot of coin to make.
yes, off 150, yep. Shotel on the way. We'll be picking off a few vills maybe, but seems like Mini's been pretty good at herding. So not today. 4 banks down, although he's got to kind of put this one down. Don't get stuck in the
Yeah, like-
villas. Should be fine.
Yeah, the bank wagon goes up pretty fast.
No vills for Ethiopia today, I don't think.
Nope. Good job by Mini. Good little defense. He's got 4 banks. I mean, his economy is about to just take off. So Ethiopia prowling around here, but I mean, those Darude might be able to snipe a vill or two.
Some of the low HP ones.
Mhm. Wow, this is kind of intense. And this is when you're Dutch, man. Like the most dangerous part of the game, right? You've just kind of banked out. You don't have any military buildings. You just have to really depend on your ability to defend and herd and manage under this type of pressure.
Has he sent CM? No, he hasn't. He's sent 2 wood crate cards. Going for a stables. Does he pop Minutemen right now? Nope.
No, I think he's content just to kind of, just kind of play the game, right?
A few low HP vills. I'm thinking he's actually fine. He'll just TC5 those shot tail down.
I think so. And you know, again, he just keeps doing this, and he's kind of winning the war. And that's the nice thing too about Dutch is you don't have any map control, but you can just completely focus on like your base and defending. He's a bit idled.
He is
Looks like
completely
he'll be
idled. But he's going H3 as well. What's Julian doing behind this? I think he'll be going up as well.
Yeah, you know, he's been able to boom a bit with the Obbins. Scout. Oh, and looks like Ethiopia is aging up. What Egypt did they elect?
Portuguese.
Portuguese. Is that arsenal? I think arsenal plus access to hand cannoneers, and then a few other techs like for organ guns.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And some eco stuff.
What's Mini up to? He's aging as well. Exiled Prince, very nice. And he'll be dropping his racks in a few houses. So yeah, both players kind of just happy to kind of age up, idle a little bit.
Yeah, you know, I kind of like Dutch's position right now too, because he was able to defend so well, and the idling of Dutch because you have the banks, right?
This I like a lot. This I like a lot. This I like a lot.
Stopped by idling, and I think it definitely allows Dutch to have a good amount of momentum. Now, again, Ethiopia, I feel like scales better because their skirms are just so strong, and they have javelin riders and they have good cards for javelin riders. I think it's anybody's game. I know I'm just kind of hyping stuff up here left and right, but truly in this matchup, my understanding is that it can go either way because Dutch have a more limited unit roster, but they do synergize very well. The African civs in general, especially Ethiopia, has a ton of options, but to fit them all in and hit at the right time is really tricky. So I'm not really sure, Flop. I don't know what your thoughts are on this matchup, but I feel like it could go either way now.
I mean, I think Dutch has kind of got a bit more momentum right now going to H3. He's got all the big unit shipments. He doesn't want to lose some of these units though. I mean, Ethiopia has the Somalia, which will counter the Reuters, so maybe Ethiopia's going to go for like a Shotel Somali unit comp, maybe with some skirms as well.
Yeah, man, look at the range of the arms on these Issa warriors, chucking those spears.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Shotel onto the skirm. I mean, the Reuters right there will happily pick them off. More Reuter for Mini. He's just happy catching a few of those. We've got skirms on the way.
Oh,
And-
got scout.
Yeah, I think this is fine for Mini just to siege right now. Julian seems to be happy to lose it, and he is making the native trade post. He's got another war camp in the back, so he will be fine for unit production and for getting his unit upgrades, which are very cost effective for Ethiopia, as each upgrade upgrades 2 units. So
Correct. Yep. So he's gonna be coming in, probably upgrading the Shotels.
yep, Shotel,
Yeah, I mean-
more Shotel on the way, and making the CDBs.
Yeah, you know, a little bit extra value with the influence. I think Ethiopia's influence boom isn't as potent as House's, but you know, just little things like that do make a world of a difference. And you know, looking at this, I kind of like Ethiopia's composition a bit better. You know, the combination of Isa warriors, veteran Shotel, and then Neftenia, which are just stronger than Dutch skirms right off the bat.
I want to see some more Somali. I guess he doesn't have the influence, but like that would do so well against the Reuter. Just let the Shotel go to work. Oh, the Shotel upgrade card coming in.
Yep. People requested it for months and months, and they finally got their way. And now Shotels are just so good. And I think the only weakness of this comp would be if there was a like Huss switch from Dutch. This might actually be able to crush it, but it's looking kind of scary for Dutch.
Yeah, I mean, right now, like a few Huss, I think would do quite well, but there's so many Shotel. To be fair, like I'd have a hard time trying to do any real damage. Some walls coming up on Mini's behalf.
A little bit of skirmishing.
I think Ethiopia's in the better position right now. Like, I don't think there's enough goons here to kind of stop all these Shotel. This wall's going to be quite nice, I reckon, for Mini. He'll just be able to sit behind that, get a few pot shots off.
He is, you know, and he's definitely getting a lot of value, man. Really, again, Mini showing just his like game IQ is very high. You know, name Mini IQ high, man, because like that was just it's allowing him to kind of split forces too. And yeah, those Shotels definitely. Good call from Julian to back him out. That was dangerous. He could have gotten split there and then lost half his army.
Going to cover mode, very nice. We'll be able to tank a lot more. And I did see 5 Huss come out, but it seems like Mini's forgot about him.
Yep.
Oh, the holes in the wall.
Ooh, the holes. I was just cracking up because in cover mode, it looks like they're skipping. Like they're like... Shotel animation, but man, this is a good fight, I think, from Dutch. I mean, again, the army comp from Julian's a bit better. It's like Julian's a lot, his builds, I think, are a bit cleaner, but just the expertise to build little walls like that from Minimoult here, I think, is helping him now be in the commanding position.
Yeah, and I would say Dutch came out on top on that one. We do have reinforcing units from Ethiopia. A few Somali here as well. But if that's just a big cav switch, I think Ethiopia might be in a bit of trouble. There's just not a lot of anti-cav here.
I think so.
Oh, the big boy mortar on the way.
Yep, here it comes. And I feel like Dutch, if he's got a good sense, he'll be able to respond with Bosniaks, but I don't know. I mean, Minimoult's spider sense has been tingling this whole game. He's bound to eventually not be 100% on it. And yeah, he's going to push Dutch all the way back. Guarding single reindeer, I guess.
I mean, this is actually Mini's next hunt, so it'll be very wise to kind of just sit on this hunt right here for Ethiopia. And yeah, he's got no one on food. Maybe a good... Actually, I think I missed a raid. Might be a good idea to take water as well if you're getting pushed off of the map.
I think so. Ooh, yep. He's got to kind of run away there. Ooh, that's a big raid though.
Does Julian realize?
Julian.
Yeah.
Julian, no.
He does, but he'll lose a few units. A few bills. Mortar going to work. This game's kind of getting cleaned up here, yeah. There's not a lot of Shotels left.
Oh no, now the cannon's blowing up a house, and that's just not going to do anything here. You know, I mean, every little bit... Oh, but now look, there's vills in the south from Dutch. Oh no. Oh, tit for tat. And now these vills are going to die.
Those vills are going to die, and it seems the Huss might get cleaned up here. There's some Somali in the back. What are the vill counts at? 24 for Mini. Everyone's on coin right now.
He's got to get ready to ship.
And Ethiopia's on 34.
But again, I mean, JulianK, I like his army, I like his map position, but I mean, Mini's he's getting to a Civ's win condition, and now he's going to try to get the hunts up in north. Maybe getting like a tower or something just to jump into. I know Dutch don't really like extra TCs, but
This is really interesting because the only hunts left on the map are literally right next to each other. They're all in the middle. And so the players are going to have to start kind of fighting for this middle ground of the map. And how is Dutch going to deal with this mortar, to be fair? I feel like we just need Cav.
yeah,
What do you think?
I feel like and he's sending Cav combat, interestingly enough. He's probably using market, can't afford the units, and I feel like Dutch is kind of on the back foot again. I mean, he's had good things, but
Oh, more
again, the
Vils.
unit comp from Ethiopia. Oof,
Oh,
you can't get that hunt. Oh. What does he do here? Like try to just snipe?
like imagine 5 huts right here. I feel like
Yeah.
that'd be so nice. Where did those huts actually go? I think they died.
Yeah, they were getting chased around the map. He's in a tough spot.
I'm not sure if we need more Reuter right now. Like, we have a lot.
And again, these aren't enough Tenya, man. These skirms are like basically free carded. In their stats, they're just so strong.
Oh, that's
Oof.
a big shot. I didn't know this cannon was that good. I know it got
Well, it
buffed
has-
recently.
Yeah, they continued. Ethiopia is just, you know, if you have any stock in Ethiopia Incorporated, like you're feeling pretty good right now. The devs have just, I mean, just continuously buffed this Civ.
Oh, here it comes, 14 Somali.
I think that might be it. He's got nothing really against it unless he. Oh, can he snipe the cannon? And the worst part about it, people are probably wondering like why he's not diving on the cannon. Ethiopia can heal their cannons. I know. It's a bit strange, but that does now make it really difficult to snipe out and kind of whittle away stuff with goons. So yeah, this is looking tough. I think Julian here has played this game very clean and he's starting to run away with it. But we've seen magic before.
We have, but there's so many Somali in the field right now. Like, I don't think we can really make any more Cav. We need to double down more on skirms.
And
It's a
that's the
tough
thing,
one.
so- Oh, the Vils up north too. If that hunt goes, I think it's GG.
It has to be. I mean,
Here we
there's
go.
nothing left on the map. All the Chateau.
Reuters now getting cut off.
Oh, another big volley from the big mortar. Skirm's kind of just trading with each other, but I think Ethiopia's trading probably just a bit better unit comp right now.
Killing Vils now with the cannon.
Yep, Vil's going down. More
no hunt.
skirms on the way for Ethiopia. And he's up in score as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see GG here soon. I just don't see how Dutch comes back from this. Except for he's trying
Another
to get a
big
Bosnian
volley.
action, maybe.
Maybe. The Chateau don't want to dive in, it seems. Still maybe too many Reuters, but I think now's go time. The Vils are getting shot down. Oh, it's looking tough for Dutch.
Oh,
No
there's
more skirms on the field.
Sherm. Can he
The
get like a
Somali
sneaky...
are going to work.
Yeah, you just can't. I think you need Colves out. And to snipe the cannon early. And again, hindsight's 2020 though. It's so hard when you play against these African civs because they have so many options, and you can't scout it as easily as you could another civ. But yeah, that being said, he is gonna. Nope.
Is the mortar? No, the mortar's not going to go down. So,
And
that's it. GG.
well, GG. Well played there by Julian to close out the series. Clean. Just really clean gameplay there at the end. You know, he had the right units, the right combos at the right time, sat on the hunts, forced Dutch out. And he picked a really good civ too, you know, and I think Minimoult played really strong, but I mean, you got to give Julian credit. It wasn't like it was a civ win or anything. Julian he knew his civ strengths. He got the right units out. He pressured at the right times. And eventually he was able to close it out. So what an epic series between these two, like, just giants.
I mean, I think Julian played this game really well, like exactly what you were saying. He was sitting on the hunts, he had the right unit comp. I think, yeah, it was just tough for Dutch to really push into that. I think maybe he had a window where he could have like made a few huts, maybe could have turned the tides, but opting to just make more raw, and maybe that's what lost it for him. I'm not sure. But yeah, great series. I loved casting this one. Yeah, very entertaining.
It was, you know, again, I think both players just showing off, man, their skills throughout this entire series, and I'm just basically I'm pretty impressed. I think Mini, that last one, you know, again, it's so hard to scout into Ethiopia, and I think he just mistakes that he probably wasn't even aware that it happened, like going for more Reuters instead of, like you said, the Huss, or instead of raiding, keeping the Huss there, cleaning up the fight, and then using it to from their pressure won it. But what a series! I really, I know I always say I don't have more words to say, but then I say more. But truly, I just to summarize it, what an incredible series from incredible players. Great Age of Empires 3 play. We got to see a variety of strategies, a variety of new and old, you know, concepts and civs and ways to play the game, and just show you that like Age of Empires 3. I mean, I know we all have our issues with how things go sometimes, but at the end of the day, what a game and what a series and what a community. So I really appreciate everyone coming out. I really appreciate you doing all the actual work here, Lop, having to push all the buttons and cast. I know it's tiring.
It's my pleasure.
You know, 2 series in a row. Just incredible. So any last minute thoughts that you got?
I don't think so. I mean, yeah, I mean, that was a great series. I think the highlight had to be game 1. That was just probably one of the best games I've ever witnessed. Yeah, like great players. It's good to see them kind of show off their strengths. And yeah, I really enjoyed watching it. Really enjoyed casting it for you guys. Hope you all enjoyed. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah. Before we head out, let's see here. Who can we?
I think
Can we throw?
we'll raid Caverna because they're going through the Beat the Boss tournament right now. So
That's right. We even have more content. I mean, seriously, like a renaissance of Age of Empires 3. I mean, from someone that we used to watch like the 2019 the World's like Land series and just like how apex that is. I feel like throughout DE, if people have adjusted and figured stuff out, you know, things have been on the back burner. And like this summer, man, we've just got content everywhere and like good content with interesting matchups, interesting players. I promise you guys, I'm not being paid to hype all this stuff up. I'm just genuinely happy that the game that I sunk 1,500 hours in the last year, you know, has some stuff to pay off, right? Sunken cost fallacy is working, and the cognitive dissonance is real. So, thank you all for coming in, watching this great series, and we've got more coming through the pipes.
yeah, thank you all. I'm gonna try raid Caverna. I'm not sure if I can. Maybe one of the mods can on ESOC. But I'll end the stream now. Yeah, see you all later.